So today we're going to talk about some tips on setting rent, maximizing your rental income, and also minimizing some of those expenses. So tip number one is digging into research on what market rents look like for your next house hack. It's super key in setting the appropriate amount for what your rent is going to be on your house hack. And how to do that is just doing your market research and determining what that market rent looks like. If you're working with a realtor who has experience in this space, they are going to be a huge asset to you. It's very important to make sure that you're looking at the right comps. If you buy a single family home, you don't want to be running comps on multifamily. So make sure that the market research that you're doing is relevant. And ways that you can do market research on your own is going to sites such as Zillow and clicking on the rental tab, or even going to apartments.com. Find 3 to 5 properties that are out there available for rent in your market that you feel are the most comparable to your property. Once you do this, you kind of have an idea of what market rents look like and what you can rent your house hack or investment property for. Tip number 2, consider additional services. And this is my favorite. Consider adding additional services that you would otherwise pay for as a renter, such as cable or internet. You can even include utilities if you want to, but I recommend not doing that, and I'll tell you why. You do not want to be paying for utilities and having a tenant that leaves the window open during the middle of the summer while the AC is running. But fixed costs such as internet or cable, those would be great options. When you fix things in such as cable or internet, tenants find value in that because it's just one less thing that they have to deal with. And I'm not just blowing smoke. In all of my house hack properties, I include internet into their rent. Some other items that you can include that I've done in the past that works and actually adds value are including chest freezers, mini fridges, TVs, even outdoor furniture or indoor furniture. These are easy and relatively cheap items that you can include into your rent that in the past I have found my tenants have found value in. By adding an outdoor TV and a living room TV into one of my properties, it increased the value of the rent by $150 a month. So with that, moving into tip number 3 is furnishing your property. Being in the real estate business, I've learned over time that perception is reality. When you are getting ready to rent out your property, the perceived value of a furnished property or even partially furnished is much higher than if it wasn't at all. You want to do short-term rentals like Airbnb, furnishing the property is going to be essential. So tip number 4 is how to reduce expenses. You can do this by adding in energy efficient appliances. As I mentioned earlier, putting utilities on your tenants. In the beginning, even on your first, second, or third house hack, you may not need a property manager. So you're going to save some money on that end as well. Depending on how long you have owned your first home or your first house hack, may be worth a conversation with your lender and looking at where interest rates are at and potentially refinancing. If you are paying for some of those fixed expenses such as cable or internet, once a month I go on those websites just to look at if they have any promos or any deals going on. My very first house hack, I was paying about $70 per month on internet, and that internet company came out with a promo that would drop my internet costs by half. Tip number 5 is using some kind of property management software or even an Excel spreadsheet. This is super important when it comes to tracking your income, your expenses, and when it comes tax time, you're going to need this as well. As I've mentioned in previous videos, apartments.com and Zillow both have really good platforms, and you can use these programs in the software for auto pay and auto generating reports for you. Saves you a ton of time and helps you stay organized. Tip number 6, regularly review rent prices in your area. As you know, the real estate market and the rental market in the past couple of years, it seems like it changes every single day. Depending on the lease terms that you come up with, you may not have to review this as often, such as if you do a 12-month or even a 2-year lease. But staying on top of the rental market is going to help you in the long run. There's nothing worse than finding out that you are under renting your property compared to what other properties are renting for in your market. Tip number 7, and this can kind of be a hidden cost or a hidden expense, but screen your tenants carefully. Setting those expectations with your tenants from the beginning could avoid miscommunication or even conflict. Outline in your rental agreement or rental application what the fees are, what their rent is, and what their maintenance requirements look like. But put an emphasis on screening these tenants carefully because you don't want somebody that's going to come in there and ruin the property or won't pay on time. And the worst of all, if they can't afford the rent. So this could help you save a ton of money by getting a good tenant that's going to take care of the property and potentially make you more money down the road as well if you don't have any missed payments or there's no vacancy. So to wrap this all up, there are a ton of ways that you can increase the income of your house hack or your investment property. There are a ton of ways that you can help reduce those expenses as well. It might sound like a lot, but I'll tell you one thing. No one with rental properties or investment properties has ever said it's easy, but they all say that it's worth it. If you found value in this video, subscribe, like, share this with your friends. You know the drill. But anyways, we will see you guys next time.